Hey guys, welcome to another practice round, this time for Lost Island for Disc Golf Valley Players Tour Week 8 with the Royal Bags. Let's get into it on hole 1, take the wind glide drive. Typical is going to be around this tree, but with this steep headwind, I'm going to aim a little bit more to the left, pretty much right at the basket, and this will clear just fine to skip up and be able to have you this throw in for your birdie on hole 1. It's definitely a lot of good possibilities here for people to be messing up. So if you play clean, you're going to be getting strokes on most of the field here. This is a backhand on hole 2 with the wind glide drive again. I tried to play around getting this with the grace, just not quite getting there. I want to take just a little bit off because of that 2 tailwind and because typically it's a sapphire or a roll drive for me, and just minimize how far you're going past this basket. A good kind of dead slide there keeps me close. This can end up a little bit long, but as long as you don't have a raging tailwind to give it too much power, you won't be flying into the water there. On hole 3, I think this is the wind glide drive again, and I actually think this is a backhand. I know there's certainly plays for going for the eagle there, but without a skippy disc, I think just get the backhand out here. Anywhere out here to the right, you're fine. And then throw across for a pretty low risk looking birdie play. This is the Brave, should be able to get 300 okay. Drops out a little wide, so maybe the grace could have got there better if it didn't get the cabbage in the tree. But the 66 feet, we can get that in with the hope and be able to take that birdie. I don't think there's a need, even with the perfect wind, kind of like I had there, to go for that eagle. Just get the birdie and move on. Hole 4, took some figuring out. This is usually a musket for me off the tee. I think the Glory does best here. Aim the middle chevron right at the middle of that tree out in the distance. Give it a straight pullback. It looks scary, but it is going to keep fading. That Glory has plenty of fade to it to get you into position here for the throw-in. This is another one. Make sure you're practicing those throw-ins so that you can make something like this. 85 feet, I'll go about 60 power. Ooh, still sneaking a little bit high. Ugly spit out there. The idea is you practice that throw-in and you get it in. Like you might have seen in Reese's video, the number one thing you can do for yourself is work on those throw-ins. Hole 5 is a wind glide drive. Default tee shot, default aim, full power, pull it straight back, and you're going to end up here down by the water, probably not too far in unless you get the tailwind, and then take your hope, throw it about 200 feet of power to be able to get up here for this birdie. Should be a birdie every time. You don't get anything more than a 1 wind or a 2 wind on this hole, so it should be one you're able to get in that birdie pretty much every time. Maybe take a little bit of power off if you have a tailwind. So the wind glide drive again. This is my typical line with the glide skip. Just aim out at the top of that little spike there with the middle chevron and see this slide up, hopefully to a position where you have a look at the basket. If you don't, you're just fine there at the trust. Trust the trust up there. Might have a weird outside chance look, but you're going to be able to get here for the birdie. If you get a good drive up there, you might be able to have a chance throwing in with the hope to be able to get that in for the eagle. I think most of the time this is going to be birdie for most of the field. 7 is another one that took some practice and figuring out a line. This is a backhand grace for me. And the line is the left side of that middle chevron, right in the crook of the tee in feet. Then give that a straight pull back, maybe a little bit of Anheuser on that. This will glide out over this ridge and slide down to the basket. The roll will stop you close. If you're like me, you're going to want to minimize the amount of throw-ins you have to do during this event, because throw-ins for a lot of us that with that accurate glide hope are not going to be a comfortable thing. Hole 8, I think the play is a layup. Take the roll grace, give a little bit of flex out the gap there, and drop down low to have a good look at getting across the water here. And you got to cross. You want to get past this tree off in the distance for your next throw. The wind glide drive again. Hung that maybe a little bit wide, but might get a nice little bounce over these tracks and some extra distance. It does get a nice roll there, so we can throw in the drive one more time. Actually, at 394, I'm going to go with the grace. About over 400, I'd probably go with that drive again. Just don't want to end up too far past the basket like the drive would do there. The grace gets me out to a nice 40 feet to be able to putt and take that birdie. I'll show you the potential eagle line, give that a try if I get a good wind, see if that works out. There's almost no chance I'm taking that wind. So let's try this tough wind with a powered down rive, not for getting across. This is just trying to get the layup just right and a tough wind that's going to be there. I don't think the Grace would get far enough, but it looks like I might have powered down that rive too much. I don't think it'll be taking birdie out of play, but it certainly takes eagle completely out of play with this tough wind. Get in there, you're not going to have the long throw-in possibility, and that's a very tough wind to get across the water on the drive anyway. Let's get the wind glide rive again one more time. So rive, rive, rive should get you up here. Even that tough wind for the birdie. Very savable, even with a poor tee shot like I had there. See if I can get the hope throw in. A 3-win, 70, 60, 50, 40. The glide has a lot of reactivity with the wind, but we do get there for the birdie. All right, I tried again to get a good wind, so hopefully I can show you this line. I take the default left-right, slide left, and put the top chevron, or the middle chevron, up right in line with this kind of crack there and here, and almost a full Wi-Fi band of Anheuser. Should kick you up there. That one got a little bit of tree. That should be okay because we have this ground play. That should get a nice ground play across. It doesn't. And honestly, this is why I might not do it, or I'm not going to be doing this in the Players Tour. If this can get across, I'll show you a good one. Otherwise, I'll probably just cut this footage out and tell you that it is a play. Yeah, honestly, it's a tough one. You got to get the angle just right, the line just right. I'd suggest in your round just laying up for that birdie if it's nothing you're really confident with. Going to hole 9 here, suggest the wind glide rive in the top chevron right where the bridge meets the ground, and give that about a quarter disc of Anheuser on that pullback. Ideally, you're going right over the top of this tree. This leaks a little bit left, but it works out okay to head up here for what will be a layup into this basket. It's another one I'm not going to bother running for eagle. I'll just take the trust in there, and hopefully I split these teeth and get up here for the good look at that birdie. Guys, well, hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope it helps you in your rounds and that you can stay bogey free.